Howdy guys and gals, I'm Kyle Broderick. Welcome back to the Social Regressive, where we're continuing our Father's Day gift buying guide. In one of the previous videos, we talked about the Bushnell AR optics because those are on a very good sale right now and you still really need to go check those out. Most of these scopes are coming in below $200, some of them well below $200, and the value that you get for your money there is just off the charts. The glass is quite nice. The feature set is impressive, and you do get all kinds of extras. Like on some of these, they're actually throwing in things like the SPR mount that you see right here. So you can actually just get outfitted all in one shot and for a really great price. Free shipping too. But one of the other things that I wanted to take a look at here today is a little personal protective equipment to protect your dad's failing hearing. These are the Champion Vanquish over-the-ear hearing protectors. These are the electronic ones. And you can see that Champion's really starting to up their game here. The packaging just overall is quite nice. And you can see that the shape of the product itself is a little bit different than what you're used to. A lot of the time you see kind of these oval over the heads, or maybe kind of squared off like the Walker's ones. Some of them are going to be very slimline, some of them are going to be quite fat. Like the Walker's are actually very close to the ear, and then the Caldwell's stick off quite a bit. And these kind of strike a mid-ground. They're a little bit on the slim side. But what I want to do is show you some of the special things about this. The packaging is a little bit uprated because, quite frankly, the product in here is uprated as well. And so is the price tag a little bit. These come in right now at about $72 for a pair. So these are going to be up there with some of your, like the Walkers are going to be up in this price range, maybe a little bit less for those. But some of the ways that these are going to differ in the industry. Now, first off, you do have a very comfy band across the top. This does have a good bit of padding up here, and it should feel quite nice on the head. Sometimes if you're doing a long range session, some of these can really press into your noggin and it starts to aggravate. These are, of course, adjustable for different heights and all that, and they do fold down quite small, as you can see. So these will fit pretty well into a range bag. Where these start to really stand apart from everything else in the industry, first off, is that funky shape. This is a very functional shape, and it's going to fit over the ear a little bit better than your average over-the-ear hearing protector, which is just kind of a basic shape that someone came up with, and they just kind of intend for you to cram your ear into it. This is actually shaped to fit your ear. So the earlobe is going to fit very well down inside this, and the top of your ear is going to fit up inside here, and it really feels like it's surrounding the ear instead of kind of pressing the ear into your head. I don't have particularly large ears, but there are plenty of these over-the-head ones that they do get quite annoying, where they're kind of pressing bits of my ear into my head. And these are going to be great for a long-range session, or a long-range session. Some of the elements on here that really make it stand out, aside from that, is just that the audio quality is off the charts with this. They've really put a lot of work into the electronics in here, and we're going to take a close look at the feature set. We're going to take a look at some of the one button on this, and we're going to talk about what makes these a little different. Check it out, guys. It's a Droid. All right, one of the first things that you're going to notice about this unit is that each of these cups has its own microphone, so this is a stereo unit. It's an omnidirectional microphone, so you're going to be able to kind of hear all around your head, and you're going to be able to hear that stereo field, so you'll be able to tell which direction your game is in. I really like that feature. And despite the fact that you do have the two microphones, this is a wired unit running up through the headband, so you don't really have to put in batteries on both sides. All you have to do is just pluck out the foam on this one ear, and then you have AAA batteries inside there. This is one of the things that I really like to think about when I'm purchasing gear, is does it take standard batteries? Some of these are really annoying, and actually this is a great time to talk about the Motorola UH-S1 or whatever they were called that I just threw out a few days ago. I feel kind of silly. I should have them here for show and tell, but they were terrible. Price does not equal quality. They cost probably about $150. They had all kinds of neat features like being able to line in cables and being able to use them as like, your radio input through the microphones and all kinds of things. But in the end, they were total junk. They were made very, very poorly. They fell apart almost immediately. I only took them out on, I think, 5 range sessions before I just got sick of them. And one of the things that really annoyed me about that is that they took a special battery. They took an N-cell battery. I don't know if you've ever even heard of that. But N batteries are not easy to get. You can't just go to your store and go pick them up. I had to order them special off Amazon. I got them in bulk because I figured I'd be using them for years to come. Turns out that those hearing protectors were total garbage, and I ended up having to chuck them, like I said. So I have a pile of N batteries, which I have absolutely no use for now. That's a real pain in the neck. But I like it when a piece of electronic equipment uses standard batteries. It's just nice to be able to head down to your local store to grab some. If you want to be able to have some of those Eneloops or other rechargeable batteries and keep them around, it's just nice to have the standard. I should point out that these fit in here extremely tightly. It's actually kind of difficult to get the batteries in, and I anticipate that it's going to be difficult to get them back out as well. And in one way, that's very good. That means that these aren't going to jar loose if I should fall off a cliff or something. At least my hearing protectors are going to be in good shape. Now here's where we get into some of the real fun. The driver you can see right here is quite a nice unit. The audio overall in these is just spectacular. You do get a bit more of a full range. It is kind of biased toward your high values. It's kind of EQ'd a little high. You're going to be able to hear some of the crunches, the pops, the snaps, the sort of things that you want to be able to hear when you're out hunting. But it does also really pick up some of those lower range and mid-range as well. So these are going to be quite good when you're out hunting, listening for the sound of your game, maybe grunts or things walking through the woods. They're very precise overall. And then when it comes time to take some of those sounds and compress them for your loud sounds, a lot of these are going to be running a limiter sort of setup, where when the loud sound happens, it's going to take a certain amount of time for the unit to react and then to kind of crush all of the other sounds. And then there's going to be a delay when it comes back up. There are some units that handle this in very different ways, like the Caldwells. They do a good job of kind of crushing everything very quickly and then coming back up very quickly as well, so you can continue to hear. But if there's one issue that I have with those versus these, it's that you kind of lose a lot of the ambient sound if there are some loud sounds going on, just because of the way that they limit it. It does work more like the kind of limiter, hard limiter that you're going to get in a big speaker setup or something. If you've ever done live sound, you know that there are different types. These are more compression type. So in general, you continue to be able to hear a lot of your NAT sound. These react very quickly, and they're very proud of it. In less than 1 millisecond, these are supposed to kind of crush the sound, kind of bring down some of those highs and reduce everything to a kind of a single level. And these just do it in a way that's very natural. It doesn't kind of push everything down so you can't hear NAT sound anymore. You kind of continue to hear that NAT sound, and then the loud one is brought down. And I think that's where we're getting into the price tag on these. Yes, it's comfy. They've obviously done their homework. They feel good. But I think it's the electronics that really set this apart from a bunch out in the industry. The walkers are also very nice, but I really have to do a side-by-side comparison to see how these two kind of compete against each other. Overall, just listening a little bit in here, I'd say that these probably have an edge in being able to kind of maintain conversations on a gun range and that kind of thing. One other thing that I should point out right here, this is a little line-in jack right here. So if you need to be able to run in some radio sound, or you want to be able to hear some tunes for some reason, you can line that in right down there, and that'll kind of add to the total sound that you have going. This is the single button, which is very nice. You don't have to worry about this getting bumped very easily when you're out. Some of the models that have some kind of dial sticking out on this side, it's very easy to get those bumped and to lose your battery power, for instance. This has a little detent, so you do have to kind of pop over the detent in order to turn it on. And then you do have a light to remind you that this is on. It has a pretty wide range of volumes overall. And for you guys that are going to be hunters, probably just a little bit of black electric tape over that light, and you should be good to go. These should be pretty discreet. And if I recall correctly, these do come in a couple of different colors. Thanks a bunch for watching, you guys. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We have all kinds of new videos that are going to be coming out. We'll be doing more reviews on all kinds of neat products. We'll be doing some build series, and then we will be testing these long term. So if you want to see how these hold up as we go to the range, as we go out hunting, and to just kind of find out how these perform, I think you're going to want to check back in. I'm really digging these so far, but really when the rubber meets the road, we'll see how they function. I'm really looking forward to the audio quality, especially being able to get out in the woods and kind of stalk around, be able to protect my hearing while I'm out hunting, especially with some of the high volume sorts of shooting that you have to do with pigs or maybe with prairie dogs. Those are things where you're not just taking one shot for the day like you're commonly going to get with maybe deer or something. It's going to be nice to have some good over-the-head ear protection, and we'll see how these perform over time. We'll be able to maybe hear game approaching and maybe be able to use these to kind of tamper our own footfalls as we go out. This will remind me that I'm being quite loud walking out in the woods. So yeah, make sure you guys stick around. Thank you to patrons of the Destructive Arts that have kept the lights on, kept the cameras rolling, and helped to provide a lot of the equipment that we get to test around here. If anybody else wants to chip in $1 or $2 a month to keep these videos coming, I'll put a link to Patreon. Thank you to Sportsman's Guide and Stan and Mary at the 338 Lapua Magnum levels. Thank you to Peter at the 300 Win Mag level. And just thanks to all you guys that are keeping these things going. I'll see you all around. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Even if you didn't like this particular content, go ahead and subscribe. There's probably something coming that's more up your alley. Check out this playlist right here. This is going to have videos in a similar vein to what you just watched. These two videos we cherry-picked for you. And finally, The Social Regressive is on Patreon. So you can become a patron of the Destructive Arts and earn some goodies while helping us to provide high-quality videos just by kicking us a few bucks a month. Thanks a bunch for your patronage.